In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Hello, viewers around the world. Good day. It's midday here in Milan, Italy. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajua, and we're here to give our Friday SSM news updates, world affairs. You're welcome. So joining me in this program today, the 19th of July, 2024, is my coordinator from Lagos, Nigeria, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. How are you?
I'm very well. Good afternoon, Mark. And good morning, viewers across the world. Welcome to our Friday program. Another fantastic, awesome day.
Yes. Welcome, Raji. Let's start with that news and take it up from your end. What's happening? Global IT outstage hits airline businesses around the world. Is it coming up to that end? We heard that tech companies are all being disrupted around the world. Airlines and businesses are scrambling to stay afloat. It's a Microsoft issue. Microsoft is investigating. Microsoft said they are trying to see why some things are preventing users from accessing their apps, and their services. And it's also affecting travels. Major U.S. carriers like Delta, United Airlines, American Airlines, a lot of airlines, Virgin Australia, Qantas have all been disrupted with this whole thing. Raji, is it coming up to that end? Do you have this happening from Africa? And what are you following on this?
Well, I haven't had much. I haven't heard much from my clients, so I need to touch base with them. But then this is a serious warning to the whole world. That we all depend on a single means of communication for our servers and for the things we do. Microsoft's monopoly has to be broken somehow. Microsoft as a major capturing more than 80% of world server software, operational systems and server softwares is a danger. It's a danger. There's too much power in that one, which also flows onto the way that we now have cloud as a repository for all the knowledge of the world. Prior to this, we used to keep our knowledge in books, in libraries. Now we have it in the cloud. And hardly do people now keep hard copies. Anything could happen to our knowledge base, which is controlled around clouds all over the world. And any hacking or disruption of that server, of that cloud system, could affect the knowledge base of the whole world. It is dangerous, and I'm happy that it has happened now, so that people, all of us, will now be awake that there's a danger lurking somewhere when we put too much power into a single source.
Too much power into a single source. Raji, you've broken it down well. Yes, it's a window outstage that has happened, but I also think it might not be Windows alone, because last time, for example, we heard that there are some flares the NASA, the aerospace companies were reporting some issues in the cloud, in the sky, up in the sky. They were saying that the sun was releasing some powerful flares, and this might affect broadcast. It might affect network. It might affect a lot of things generally. So as at now, yes, it is Microsoft, Raji, but I think it might spread around. So, well, what you said is very meaningful. Reliance on one network, one platform.
Operating system.
One IT system is not favorable. But when it's like this, the way it's happening, they've not really found out what the issue is. Some people are saying it's hackers. Some people are saying it. So, but I think it is that that warning NASA gave us last Monday, reporting there were some powerful releases coming out from the sun. So, anyway, businesses have been affected. Companies, airlines, a lot of things are grounded. Airlines are grounded. Some airlines are making real strong arrangement. It's even affecting hospitals because at the hospitals you have data collection, patients list, and all that. And now the doctors are reporting that they can't access some of those
databases.
Yeah, databases. So let's see how it goes. We'll be watching the news. It hasn't affected Africa in any way for now. Is that correct, Raji?
I cannot say for sure. If it's a global issue, then it will affect Africa in a way. But luckily for us, maybe our transactions do not go across too many interfaces for us to be. So as long as you are doing local interfaces and the maybe the satellite or your network connections are not affected by the flares, I think you can still go on. But we need to be very, very careful. The whole world needs to be very careful about all these things.
Carefulness is the word. Okay, so that's it, viewers. Real IT issues happening. We go on also on that space. Let's. I know you probably might not know this, Raju, but there is a musician. There is a musician that her music was taken to space to play. You know, while the astronauts traveled, they took along with them a musician called Missy Elliott, and they were able to play her music out there in the sky, in the space. So it's a kudos to her, and also the music world. They feel you know. You
was there an audience for that music, and were they dancing or singing?
Well, they just played it. You know, you can't dance up there. You float. So, okay, maybe they dance by floating. But anyway, the music was played out there for the first time. Rap music being played miles away, up in the space, and everybody's talking about it. And it's small achievement, you know, being able to play sound.
Was it not projected to Venus? I thought it was
Venus,
projected to Venus.
Yes, that's it. It was projected to Venus. Okay. So let's come to some other news too. Yes, during the week we had some issues. Yesterday, the president of the European Commission was reelected, and somehow people are happy she's on again. So that's Ursula von der, the president of the European Commission. Yesterday, she was reelected for another. I think that she will serve another 5 years. 5 is the year. So there was votes being held at Strasbourg, France, and she succeeded to have the backing of most of the MEPs. And now she's back on to the job. She's also will be addressing some issues as she's back again, so that things can go well with the European Union and other organizations. So that is Ursula von der Leyen. Ursula von der Leyen another 5 years as the boss, the chairwoman, the president of the European Commission. Raji, is there anything you have on that?
No, just congratulations to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her. Okay.
Yes.
Raji, yesterday, this is not a world affair news, but we have to give the update. Yesterday, we had federal government and the labor union in Nigeria have agreed on the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Is that so? They said
Yes.
they came to a
Yes.
yeah.
That's what we've been told, and I had predicted before that it couldn't have gone beyond 70,000.
70,000.
It couldn't go beyond 70,000. So
Okay.
well, and the labor union seems to be very happy with it, in spite of the fact that they have to come down from 460,000 to 70,000. I don't see why they put out 400 something thousand in the first instance when they knew that the highest they could ever get was probably 70,000-80,000.
Okay, their reason for agreeing to that, the labor union, is they said due to economic situation in the country. Now, due to economic situation in the country, don't you rather get a better bargain for your people, your employees and workers, instead of coming that low? What do you think?
We have said it so many times on this program that it is not the matter of the minimum wage alone. That if they are going to negotiate anything, they have to negotiate globally. First, the cost of living is high. First, the cost of fuel has gotten so high. Tariffs on electricity is getting so high. Transportation is getting so high. All these things affect the cost of living of workers. Okay. Government cannot pay you a living wage. Government can only pay you a wage that the economy can survive in. It is the duty of labor to have negotiated further by putting on other conditionalities that henceforth the government should not be taking too many loans and putting the country more and more into debt. Henceforth, the country we should try to live within our means. So that we know, yes, but we have been living way out of our means. We have taken debts. We keep on taking loans that have been pushed for years. By the time we start paying off that loan, $1 million becomes $100 million in 30 years, and we are just killing our people.
Yes. So anyway, finally they've reached that agreement. Let's hope that the government also does this without delay, even though they agreed to this. Sometimes we know they take time to pay people their monthly salary. Some people suffer some of these things. So congratulations to them, labor union, the presidency and his team. Let's see how that plays out for the betterment of Nigerians, the ordinary people. Again, from Nigeria, Raji, a policeman, Inspector Ono Ako, was killed yesterday when the news of the deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, was made that he's been reinstated. And while he was coming back, some reactions happened along the road, Ring Road in Edo, Benin City, and causing the death of this man. So why will people die because somebody has been reinstated? Is it that the opposition doesn't want him to be reinstated, or his own principal, the governor, that also started this from the beginning? Is it that they don't want him back? Why will they kill police attached to his entourage?
Honestly, I do not understand. A man has been impeached. He have been reinstated. The process of impeachment was so tardy, was so tacky, that there was no way that any court will have sustained that impeachment. Now that has gone. We have made politics do or die in our environment, and that is why people get killed so easily just uh, for political office.
Mm-hmm.
It is not right. It is not
It
right.
is not.
Unfortunately, it is the plebeians, the poor, illiterate, uneducated buffoons that get killed, that
Mm.
get used to do all the
Mm.
dastardly things, and uh, a poor policeman who was
Of
on duty as a security to the
attaching.
to the to that has been killed, thrown his family into sadness. My condolences to the poor man who lost his life. But we
Yes,
need to
our
we need to we need to we need to tidy our politics, not to
we
make
need to
it
tidy
do or
up
die.
our politics.
Yes.
We need to. Okay, thank you again for that one. Viewers, you're tuned into SSM Friday World Affairs. So Raji, Alayinka, Raji, and myself, were here giving the updates. Yes, Raji.
Yes, sir.
We saw a lot of things happen also during the week on the international line. France, France is still on the burner. France, France has a parliamentary system. So, and
Mm.
the president is the prime minister is more like is not a very is more like a ceremonial power anyway, but they have a
Yes.
prime minister and they have the
Mm.
president. So during the week, the prime minister, young man Gabriel Attal, said he's stepping down, resigned from his from the office, and the president also um, accorded him that permission. But it's all coming down to the fact that Macron's government is not standing, it's not holding up again. Raji, what do you
Yes.
say? So that's the Prime Minister,
Mm.
Minister Gabriel, has resigned. Now they have to look for a successor for him in his stead. So Macron's leadership and cabinet is shaky. Raji, is that not how you see that?
Yes. In the last elections, I'm not sure whether they have completed their elections, but in the last elections, his party was trounced, and therefore
Mhm.
he's essentially a sitting duck. And yes, yes, I'm sure that by the time they finish the election process, his government will be swept away.
Yes. There's still some stage to follow on the
Mm.
election, and by the end of this month, we should be able to have um, all the
Results.
results. Yes, thank you. Okay, so let's move on again. Yes, we talked a little about uh, Mr. Trump picking up his vice, the young man called
Mm.
J.D. Vance.
Yes.
Vance is his running mate come 2020, come the next election. And
Mm.
Vance is a senator representing Ohio District. So we did some check on Vance, and I saw that he's a strong voice to um, not supporting Ukraine, not giving more aid to Ukraine. He doesn't believe in that Ukraine-Russia thing, you know. So Europeans are afraid of him coming in with Trump because he has
Mm.
more points,
St-
more things to talk
Stronger
about.
opinion.
Yeah, opinions good on why NATO should not be involved with Ukraine again, reduce funding, all those
Mm.
things. So what do you think, Raji? Vance.
So, historically, since 1776, at the time of U.S. independence,
Mm-hmm.
the United States have been involved in a war every decade since that time. Very few presidents have come in recent history who did not wage a war.
Okay.
Well, first one is probably Jimmy Carter,
Yeah.
and then Trump. Trump did not have any war. In fact, he stopped most wars. He called back most troops during his session.
Okay.
American economy seems to be based on war, on the military industrial complex,
Good.
and therefore they have to go to war. So it's possible that yes, there'll be a lot of, but I don't understand why Europe should be concerned that a president is coming or a vice president is coming who support the cessation of war. The war going
Yes,
on in Ukraine is serious.
it's serious.
Most of Ukraine have been devastated. There's no reason why the war should go on. There's no way, no matter how much NATO supports Ukraine, that Ukraine could win the war. Ukraine has already lost, and they are losing every day. It is better for that war to cease.
It's better for that
To
war to
cease.
cease.
To cease.
Yes. Why
Yes.
Europeans are checking is because NATO, America gives the bulk of money to keep NATO running. So,
Now,
mhm.
sorry, may I ask you a question? What is the benefit of Europe in NATO? They have no benefits. In fact, Europe is suffering now because of NATO's involvement in Ukraine.
Okay.
Switzerland is a neutral country. They have not have to
Yes.
spend money on armament.
Um,
Poor France. What is poor France going to do? Who is attacking France? Who
Okay.
wants to attack any country in Europe? Except that meddlesomeness of the US in pushing for a war mentality across the world. Everywhere US is, because the war in Ukraine has cost
Mhm.
Europe billions.
Yes.
Has cost Europe billions, and they have actually affected their gas supply and even their
Everything.
cost of living. So
Everything.
what is the benefit of a war?
I don't know. I don't know
The
what they
war.
are really up
Yes,
to.
Europe will
Within.
fare better with peace
Okay.
between her and Russia. Europe will fare better, and because they are all European anyway, Russia, even though the whites want to separate themselves, but there's no continent. There are actually no continent like Europe. There's actually Eurasia, which includes China and
All
Russia
of it.
and
Yeah.
all the other places. Yes, and Europe.
Okay. Yeah. So we're checking. Let's see how also it turns out for America eventually. If the Republicans will come in or the Democrats will continue. So thank you, Raji. Uh-huh.
No, just one word. I pray that the Democrats will push Biden so that there will be a real trouncing of Biden, and therefore we'll know that yes.
Okay, you say yours as the way it is.
Yes.
Okay, this one is coming as a small news. Maybe if you don't want to talk about it, it says Thailand expands its visa-free entry to 93 countries. So
Yes.
93 countries will now enjoy coming to Thailand. Thailand benefits from tourism. So yes. So the news.
As a tourist destination for most Europeans and in fact most of the world, Thailand had ensured that there's security in the country. Last year, I understand Thailand had $23 billion on tourism alone. on tourism
That's,
alone.
that's it.
That if Nigeria could have 23 billion on one stream, Nigeria will be a much better country.
No, but you need to see the landmarks, those places that are tourist interest. They are really beautiful. So nobody, you will pay anything to want to be in those places. You know?
Yes. Yes,
they are beautiful coral, natural habitations.
Yes.
You know, wildlife, everything.
Yes.
So
Thailand, Thailand, Cambodia, my tourist basket. That whenever when I grow up, I want to go to all those places.
Where you grew. Viewers, you are tuned in with Olayinka Raji and myself, and we're giving you updates on our Friday World Affairs. Okay, Raji, we move on again. Now, let's dive into this. Biden, the United States president, is facing strong pressure. As at yesterday, pressure was even coming from his best friend, Barack Obama. Barack Obama was with him, and what we heard is he's really trying to convince him to step down. Also, have it in mind that just a few days ago, Biden went through COVID. He had COVID again. So this age of a thing, him really stepping down for younger candidates, I think it's becoming more pressing. The Democrats are now pressing real hard. Major donors are withdrawing funds because they say he should step down. Raji, what do you think will happen? Do you think he will step down, or the old man will be heady?
I consider myself as a political neophyte, that I don't know much about politics. But I had seen from far off that the Democrat had better start grooming somebody to take the place of Biden about 2-3 years ago, when we could see that his health and his age was not helping him. So I wonder why the Democrats left it so late before they will start telling, because the elections is in November and it's rather close, and Kamala Harris has not been sufficiently pushed forward to take his place, and I'm not even sure that Americans will be ready for a female Kamala Harris presidency. Now, there have been talks about Michelle Obama coming in, but I don't think that the grounds have been prepared enough for her to step in. I can't see a good candidate for president coming out of the Democrats now, unless maybe they want to bring back maybe Obama or somebody else.
Obama can come again. He has done full 8 years.
Yeah, now, well, maybe it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, they left it too late.
They left it too late. Late. Coming now to talk about this is a plan too late. The man is truly, somebody was saying we are abusing, castigating an old man that is sick. But nobody will say this to him if he probably wasn't in the public view.
In public view, yes.
Yeah, when you're in that public space, I mean, there will be those criticism, and we know that age. Everybody will go through this as we age. Yes. Everybody goes through that time when you're incoherent, you're not coordinating enough, you have issues. So, but it's not for him to be out in that space of leadership.
No.
Yes, because
I think his friends and family members are not protecting him enough.
Yes,
they should have protected him from this ridicule.
Yes,
because he's not being put through ridicule. Yes,
the son is even pushing him to go, daddy, go, do it, go.
Why? No, it's not right.
Pushing him. Can you imagine? And when people talk, they will say they're abusing the old man. But I mean, we all saw the debate. We saw everything. We've seen countless of time of him falling off staircase, climbing
Yes.
the presidential plane. We've seen him in international events, not coordinating, all
Yes.
that. But the Democrats have been, putting that, keeping it under the cap, hiding that.
Yes.
And but it's becoming obvious. It's becoming
See,
obvious. Mhm.
let me give you an example.
Okay.
During Qatar's first time, just
Mhm.
before he was going to go for the second time, he was involved in I think he was jogging and he fell. That
Yes,
was enough
remember.
for
I
him
remember.
to have
Yeah.
lost to lose the presidency. That was enough. Just one fall. Now this man has fallen off so many times, have been incoherent so many times, have been going like a robot on stage so many times. And it's even said that it's probably difficult for him to do two things at the same time, like breathe and put on his pants. It's not fair. They should remove him. They should remove him from the ridicule.
Ridicule.
Yes.
Press ridicule, people ridicule, everybody talking,
No,
even
it's not
world
fair.
leaders. They are all world leaders are also talking, but they are hiding and talking. Some of them
Yes,
are laughing at him. When
in
they came
private.
to Italy or the G7 meeting, a lot of
Mm,
things was really out of coordination.
out of
You
tune.
know,
Yes.
yeah, out of tune, and we all did pretended as if we didn't see it.
Mm,
All right, Raji, let's take a short break. We'll be back.
all right.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, we're back. Godwin Iwejuwan here from Milan, Italy, and Raji Olayinka Raji from Lagos, Nigeria. We're giving you
Thank you.
Friday World Affairs updates. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Raji, I'm enjoying the space with you.
Thank
We're
you.
taking it, one step at a time, and we're
Yeah.
doing well. Yeah, so
Thank you.
let's wrap it up on that Biden situation. So we hope that by today or by the weekend, something will be concluded on that, because every of this delay, like you said, it's critical, it's crucial. Election is coming soon. This is campaign season. Now they should be doing the campaign, but their house is still not together, the Democrats. So we're watching that, Raji. Raji, are you going to be on the lookout?
Yes. I hope, I want to believe that the Democrats have a surprise candidate.
Okay.
But then it will be surprising if they have a surprise candidate and we have not seen the surprise candidate now. We shall all be surprised.
Okay, Raji, let's come to some sad news. Bangladesh is that country in the east of the Indian Ocean. Bangladesh is going through a lot now. Presently, there are high security alerts as protests escalate. Students are fighting strong, Raji. Bangladesh is in real strong situation now. The students are not backing down. The students say the government, there are some things the government does that the children, the youth, the students don't want anymore. One of it is they are arguing that the system, there's a system which people get job because their relatives were once in that position. So jobs are not given because of your merit, because of your academics or anything. They are given because your relative, your person is in that sector. So these students are vandalizing everywhere, smashing windows, lights, setting places on fire, screaming, and it's really getting hot in Bangladesh. Raji, do you have update on this? Do you have any story?
You see, I support any protest, and I'll support that protest until it gets violent and it gets destructive.
Okay.
Because after all the violence, after all the destruction, there will be buildings. There's no money to do all these things. Why are you destroying properties?
Why destroy?
You can still make your point clear without getting too emotional as to be destroying properties or as to be turning off the national grid or disrupting the economics. Yeah, but I understand Bangladesh has always had problems ever since Mujibur Rahman broke up from as East Pakistan from Pakistan, and it was the best decision to take because East Pakistan and West Pakistan were so wide apart that government was very difficult. But Bangladesh had its own problems, flooding and poverty and all those things. And you see, it's the poverty that has made it systemic for people to be nepotistic. Because you have to protect your. It is a poverty, and the poverty has gone into the mind, into the system, into the self-protection. So, but then that doesn't mean that we should go to the extent of destroying government property. At that point, I do not support their protest, even if they have a good point. Yes.
At that point, you do not support the protest. Anyway, it's really getting very, as at this morning, the clashes continued very strong, students and police, and it has disrupted a lot of things. Activities have come to a halt. And we know that Bangladesh is also, Raji, Bangladesh is one of those countries where some of these big firms have their center points, like
Yes,
some
because of cheap labor.
Yeah, because of cheap labor. Clothing companies, some electronic companies have their units, their storage listing there. And so when there is an issue like this, it will also affect the world's production, service, and yes. So
some global supplies and things.
Global supplies and things. So that's it. Bangladesh issue high security alert this morning as deadly protest escalates, continues, and students are not backing down. They say they want the system of work, a system the government have been using to be brought to a halt. They want people to be recruited rather on merit, on your academics and all that, not because your relative, your family is in a sector and that person has to also continue. Okay, thank you, Raji. So Raji, we move on also, still around that side of the far Asia. An Indian preacher is on the burner. Social media space want to tear the man apart. He's a preacher, and we had a situation where people died. 121 people were crushed in a Christian gathering. It's this church, a Hindu religious gathering, and 122 people were crushed. Now, what this preacher did that everybody's angry with him, he said, yes, he's deeply disturbed, but a tragedy happens and no one can change destiny. No one can change when a tragedy wants to happen. So, Raji, do you believe that no one can change when he tries. I mean, that's the preacher there. This is what he said. No one can change. He said, yes, he's deeply disturbed, but that tragedy happens and no one can change that line of destiny. So people are after him. People are angry for him to say like this. Take note that 121 people have been crushed. It happened last week. A Hindu religious gathering, and most of them were women. Women killed because they went to this his program, and this is what the man has to say.
Yes.
Raji, what will you say about that?
So, in areas of heavy concentration of people, such tragedies could happen. Regularly in India, do we have, especially when they go to that Ganges river for one program or the other, where people get crushed. It is unfortunate, and my condolences to those who lost their lives. But as the man said, you see, a man's faith is his fate. A man's faith is his fate. We all believe in destiny. We all believe in destiny. And it is when such tragedies happen that you now say that some it could have been prevented. Probably yes, but as long as he made all systems of safety were deployed, if such a thing happens, it happens, and all that we can do is to accept it as part of fate, as part of destiny.
Fate.
It is a human being's vent for his own peace of mind, to attribute to whatever happens to a superior being who controls his life.
Because
therefore
preventions could be put in check,
Yes.
Here, if for example you will have that kind of gathering, there are things that will be done in Europe that will not that will make keep people safe even in that mammoth crowd,
But still accidents happen.
Yes, still
Something things happen,
but not that much. Where 121 people crushed, they were trampling on themselves, squeezing themselves, and
whenever there's a stampede, you look at what happens sometimes at the Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca, where you have over 1 million people in a space. No matter how big that space is, 1 million people in a space is a lot of people. Regardless of whatever protection you might have put in place, sometimes those safety measures can be overwhelmed.
Yes.
By the sheer force of the population. And India has a population of 170 billion, 1.7 billion people.
Yes.
And you look at the landmass.
Following China. That's a lot. Okay.
No, I think they have overtaken China. Even though China has a larger space landmass than India.
Yes.
I'm not justifying what happened. I'm just justifying what happened. Yeah, but it has happened. And you can attribute it to fate. You can attribute it to your destiny. You can attribute it to anything. And people are allowed to vent their anger any which way they like because of what somebody said.
Any which way they like. Thank you very much, Raji. Viewers, you are still watching us. Raji, Olayinka, and McGodwin. We're in the studio today, and we're having fun giving updates for our Friday World Affairs. Yes, Raji, let's come to one of the topic for today, one of the highlights. The Olympics is just few days from now, and it will be held in France. In fact, France have arranged a lot of things for the Olympics. But Raji, as we're talking now, protests are going on also in France. Paris is seeing some very unusual reactions. Some of the companies that even built the arenas, the venues that this Olympics will be held are stopping work. In fact, threatening to block those arenas on the day of during the Olympic period because of some needs not met, requirements, maybe an upgrade in their salary or something. So all of this now makes us to ask, is France really ready to host the 2024 Olympics? Because also there are attacks on security officers in Paris, attacks on different media houses also, and all of this happening. Who want to come to a place where there is violence, all this unrest and all these things, and you're coming to play game, you're coming to get involved in a sport? Do you think what's your view on this, Raji?
So my view is simple. The earlier we accept that France is a third world country in a Gucci suit, the better for our own safety. As far as I could see, what could have done was to have divided the Olympics between two countries. If they have accepted that France was a third world country just dressed in a Gucci suit, and that doesn't make him rich. That doesn't make it rich. France has serious problems, terrorism and immigration and migrants and things, and their economy is now shaking with the movement of some West African countries from the French control. So France is, yes. I don't know how they won that hosting. Yes, I don't know how they won that slotting. They have hosted the Olympics a couple of more than twice.
Yes.
So why were they being, and with the situation in Europe, with the cost of living going so high and things, I don't think that Europe should have been the best place for the Olympics. But then, as it is, let's pray that the Olympics will hold, and that France will be able to
conduct it smoothly,
to host it smoothly as possible. Not smoothly, but as smoothly as possible.
As smoothly as possible. Okay, viewers,
and maybe all the funds that they have been sending to NATO will have been directed to hosting this Olympics more successfully. Yes,
that's it. Yeah. So, viewers, France is hosting the Olympics 2024. About 15 million visitors are expected to be in France for this event. 15 million people. So, with a number like that, there needs to be real tight security. With a number like that, the police, the French Interior Minister, security arms must really sit tight, because that number of visitors is not a small number. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Just a moment. Just a comment.
Okay.
I don't understand why, if France was in the throes of changing government, that Olympics should have been hosting rights should have been given to them, because as it is now, the government is shaky, the security is shaky, everything is shaky about France.
Everything is shaky about France. Okay, let's see how shaky it will be during the Olympics. The Olympics will last for a month, and 15 million people are expected to be in France for the event. They need to sit up. Okay, Raji, we'll come again to Nigeria. There is something we didn't talk about last Wednesday when it was still very hot. United States have assured Nigeria of the delivery of the AH-1Z helicopter. That's a special kind of helicopter that we've ordered, and they've promised they'll be bringing it in for us. Now, we've been ordering, they've been bringing, we've been buying, they've been bringing, but it is not. Is it the purchase of this thing that matters, or the manpower, the skill to use these things and really go use it on these insurgents? Raji.
Is it? It is very unfortunate that, like local parlance will say, they play too much.
They play too much.
The government is not it has no determination to eradicate these bandits.
And they are spending money buying all these things.
And they are spending buying ammunition, armaments, and military hardware that will just be sitting down. What happened to the tornado helicopters we bought before? Were they supplied? Were they put in use?
Yes.
Were they ever put in use?
They were put in use in a little scale.
And so why are we getting more helicopters?
Okay.
Even when the Air Force was deployed to be doing what it's supposed to do, they were bombing IDP camps instead of marriage ceremonies of the bandits. Isn't that something?
Marriage ceremony is a bandit killing innocent people.
And IDP camps of bandits. How can they be so?
And the flight operators say they saw them, the people gathering, as bandits. You know, they thought they were bandits.
How can you just? Did not have any target that they were supposed to follow with GPS and everything?
So you said something important, Raji. Buying these things and keeping them to rust. You see, electronics, hardwares like this, military hardware, these vehicles, they don't buy it and keep it, because it is the frequent usage that keeps it running and even makes it more
operations.
Yes, more efficient. Better, more efficient. So we'll keep. I'm sure in our military armory, in our storehouse, you have all these things lying down there, rusting away, and they are buying more. Raji, it's a sad word.
So recently, I heard where I read where 2 helicopters that were bought by the NCAA were kept. When the military approached them for their use, they were denied. Okay. Eventually, those helicopters, which were bought at $8 million each, were auctioned off at $1 million each. You know? Okay. So I think we play too much.
We play too much.
We don't have a government that is serious about eliminating these bandits.
We play too much, Raji. We play too much. Raji, let's begin to bring it down. The war on Gaza, Israel and Gaza war still continues. As of this morning, we're hearing information that Israel bombed a UN-run school, a UN school in Gaza. And they also bombed a refugee camp. And now the numbers of killings is increasing. Raji, it's really sad. What you see there are figures of what we came up with, SSM. These are figures from the casualties, the death on both sides. From the Israel side, the number killed so far is 1,139. And from the Palestinian side, Gaza, we have about 38,848 people so far been killed. And we have those injured on Israel side, 8,730. And from the Palestinian side, 89,459. So you also have the figure from the occupied West Bank. And these are human lives that are in these numbers. It's distressing, Raji, to hear that people are dying numbers like this. And yes, go ahead.
It is more than distressing. When the October 7th thing happened, we all saw the global exposure, the global information avalanche that was unleashed on the world. Since then, whatever atrocities that are happening inside Gaza has now been put under cover. You can hardly hear from them. You can hardly read about it. You can hardly see it. There have been a deliberate information cover up of all the atrocities that is happening. Only last week, the Israeli army gave the people in Gaza 1 week to clear away from there, and then they moved in and they were killing people. You see, of all those who are injured, remember that there's hardly any building standing in the whole of Gaza.
Okay.
There are no hospitals, so all those who are wounded, and even their medical professionals are being attacked. There are no hospitals for the wounded. The dead are just being and the living are just look. It is a shame
It's terrible.
to that the world, the conscience of the world is now dead to the atrocities being permitted by the Jewish state, by the Zionists against humanity.
Against humanity.
It is sad.
It's
more
truly
than sad.
It's truly sad. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Let's pull the plug, Raji. It's an interesting one. An Italian journalist here where I am has been ordered to pay our prime minister the sum of 5,000 euros. Now, guess what? For what? You ask. For what? Raji said for what?
What for?
It's a woman. She wrote an article making fun of our prime minister's height. You know, our prime minister, Giorgia Meloni, stands at 5.3 inches. You know, so this journalist wrote an article and said, I can't even see you. You know, he was actually trying to make a point, and he just messed up. So she's going to pay 5,000 euros. And I think she will even do some small community service, because what the court said is she's shaming, is body shaming, you know. And
for saying the truth.
Well, but you could just say it directly without talking about the person's body or figure or anything.
The lady said she couldn't see him. Maybe he was behind a taller person, yes.
Yeah, she couldn't see her. Yeah. No, it was in a form of abuse. You know, it was a form of yap, and so anyway, that's our prime minister there. Our prime minister is 5'3", but that 5'3" is not too bad for a lady anyway. Yes. Seeing her even stand with some men, you see that it's not too bad. But this person decided to body shame her, and now she's going to pay 5,000 euros.
I think people are getting too sensitive and too emotional.
Yes.
You know, I saw a skit where a midget was being called a midget in school, and he came home to complain that he was being called a midget. And his father asked him, "Okay, are you a giant?" He agreed that he's a midget. If you're a midget and you are being called a midget, what's the problem there? Accept yourself.
It's not too nice to say things like that to people's face.
We are getting too sensitive. We are getting too sensitive.
Okay.
We are getting too overly sensitive. Overly sensitive and emotional. Very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon, I won't be able to tell you that you are tall and handsome.
All right, Raji, it's been fun hanging out with you today.
Yeah, man.
Believe me,
yes.
All through has been real fun. Viewers, you have been tuning in to our Friday World Affairs, and we've just discussed all that has been happening so far. Real-time updates. Remember the the outstage Microsoft issue. Remember also all other things we've discussed here. And we want to wish you a beautiful weekend. Raji, what do you have to say to the viewers?
So whatever is happening with our servers, I'm sure the Microsoft group will be able to resolve it. Meanwhile, please keep warm and have a very, very lovely weekend ahead. Take care.
Take care. Arrivederci, like we say. Bye-bye.
Yeah.